Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central.
Live from the Sugar Shack in Sugar Land, Texas. It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, we talk the spring edition of the Texas Miles Speed event. We also have a very special guest from the North Side Mustang Club. Konrad will have the In Wheel Time Car Clinic, and I'll bring you this week's Auto News. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world Mars. King Konrad DeLong, we need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. Joining us right now is, this is kind of like, some of the music rock stars that only have one name, like Pink. This is Vernon.
Sting.
Madonna. Madonna, yeah.
Cher.
So this, ladies and gentlemen, is Vernon from the North Side Mustang Club. Vernon, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Well, we appreciate. Thank you very much. We appreciate you joining us. You know, I wanted to mention that right out of the box. Why are you speaking to us? Do you have an office there at the house?
I do. Yes.
Yes. Well, I love the wall behind you because I assume that those are all like things that are important to you about cars, and I'm into that sort of stuff, and so I just wanted to compliment you on your background.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, it's the little things in life for me.
A lot of stuff up there.
I know. It's very nice. So, Vernon, Northside Mustang Club, I'm sure that you know Randy Weldon. Yep. And so
everybody knows.
Everybody knows Randy Weldon. So, you've taken over the Northside Mustang Club. Are you the president?
I am, sir.
Yep. Well, congratulations, or we're sorry. We're not quite sure where that
way to go.
in, but no.
So you didn't show up for the meeting and got elected.
Yeah. Well, if you ask my wife, she'd say sorry.
Believe me, I know. I've been involved in car clubs before, and it can be a lot of work. Well, so what's going on with Northside Mustang Club? We haven't talked to you guys in quite some time, and we know that you've got lots of events coming up this year.
Yes, and like you say, a lot of work. We just finished up with a cruise that started up in Waller, took us down to the Railroad Museum in Rosenberg. Really successful trip. Cruise. We had a lot of people coming up to us, talking to us, seeing how active we are is bringing members in. We have several cruises planned for this year. Blue Bonnet cruise. We got a cruise through around the Lake Livingston, another one over to Anahuac and down. We're going to actually try to load the Lynchburg Ferry with Mustangs, get a picture of that, and just taking it across. We've got another one through the National Forest and up to Anderson. So, I mean, lots of things planned in that area.
Now, these are one-day cruises, huh?
These are one-day cruises, yes.
Yeah.
We're looking at some overnights, but right now we're at one-day cruises.
Very nice. Well, I don't know whether you're familiar with it or not, but the Hot Rod Tour of Texas, we're going to have Bobby Sparkman on later on during the show this morning, and that's a 3-day tour of Texas, if you will, from Victoria and heads north through the hill country and winds up there just south of Fort Worth. But I'll tell you what, I had so much fun last year that I'm going to torture myself again this year. Torture in this fact that I just want to make sure that the Corvette makes it that far. That's my biggest concern. And I'm sure that you guys have dealt with that as well, with some of the older builds and things breaking down. You get it. But how many guys usually go on a cruise?
We'll typically have about 25 vehicles.
Yeah.
It's like the right amount.
It turns out really well.
Yeah, that's a manageable number there. Yeah,
like
so you don't overwhelm that little stop and go in the middle of nowhere with one person working in there that hasn't had 25 people at the same time in there since it opened.
Yeah, well, it keeps everybody together too. There's no stragglers.
And one thing we've done this year that we've not done in the past, we've opened it up to the entire car community to Houston. It's not just to Mustangs. We bring in whatever club or whatever wants to join in. the more we can have, the greater it is.
I'm glad to hear that. That's a good thing because I don't have anything.
Car people are car people.
That's exactly right. And through the years, I've had lots of Mustang owners that have been friends of mine, and I would still claim a few of them. As a matter of fact, I don't know whether they'd claim me or not.
That's true.
But it's a good time. When I think back of my years with the car club, I always think about those monthly meetings. And, I enjoyed the monthly meetings until they got to the minutes. I don't want to hear about the damn minutes of a club that went on, a month ago that I can't remember. I don't care about that. And I'm sure that you probably feel the same way.
Yes. We've kind of shortened that up a little bit in our meetings.
Yeah.
We had one last night.
That's good.
Well, one of the things the Northside Mustang Club does is you guys are still very heavily involved in Coffee and Cars for a Cause in the Woodlands. Is that correct?
We are. Every first Sunday of the month.
And, you've got one of those coming right around the corner. And you guys select generally a local Montgomery County charity to make the donation to. So,
yes.
Again, proof that, the car community is very philanthropic in everything that they do.
As a matter of fact, you've got a great charity up there in the Conroe area called God's Garage. I don't know if you're familiar with them or not, but we've partnered.
Yes.
Yeah, we've partnered with them, and we're going to help Stan Holt out at Loopy Tortilla on April the 15th with
Tailpipes and Tacos.
Yep.
And a donation. You get free tacos and make a donation, and Loopy Tortillas is going to match the donation and give it to God's Garage.
Yep.
I think it is set up for a giveaway. Well, that's what's in the commercial.
Yes.
Okay. So
there's that.
We do.
We're yes.
Okay.
So
Just come on out.
Yeah. So we would love to have some members of the Mustang Club come out and join us. It's a Saturday morning, 8 to 11 on April 15th.
Okay. And we have our spring show coming up here, April 29th, up in Conroe at the outlet malls. Looking at a good turnout for that. It's an open car show. We've actually this year have changed also our fall show, which will be November 4th. That's going to be at Bull Solace Park. We have rented the entire park to have that show there. So
where is that?
That is up in New Caney. Actually, Texas Throwdown used to have their show there before they moved.
Interesting. Okay.
And one of the things that we are striving to take care of or do this year is we're going to look at doing a third show, and it's a youth show. And what that involves, we've got a venue, we've got things put in place for it already, but where we get kids like 21 and under, they can bring, if they have their own car or if they have dad's, grandpa's, grandma's car, whatever, but they're the ones that bring the car out. They're the ones that show it. They're going to be putting on the show. We want to get the youth involved in doing something like that. They're going to do the parking, the registration, and we'll be there to help them. But show them, they'll talk to the judges, introduce their cars, those kind of things.
What a great idea. Mm-hmm. We ought to get your granddaughter to join us. And
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
bring the caddy.
You can bring the caddy, or she will line her up with the Corvette.
Yep.
Teach her how to drive a 6-speed.
That's it.
I'm sure she's ready to go. She's been driving just about every day. So.
Yeah, because Vernon, we know when you talk about youth, you're not talking about Tracy Templer or Randy Weldon, and they're both online with us. I figured I'd take my shot at them.
Since they're there and you're here.
But
well, those two, Tracy and Randy, plus we have a couple more, Robin and Tim, all four of them. Northside's proud to say that all of them are MCA national directors, and all four members, one of the few clubs that could say they have that many national directors in their club.
Well, and it's a good week to have you on, because part of my auto history is going to be talking about this week in auto history was the introduction of the Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe
Timing.
that was
It's all in the timing.
New York World's Fair was where it was introduced.
Right.
And when we talked earlier in the week, we were talking about the club. We were talking about your club is actually growing, where a lot of them aren't even existing anymore.
Yeah, out there at Autorama where I met you at, we picked up 12 new members at Autorama. And every month we're picking up 2 to 3 new members. And one of the reasons for that is because Northside is being so active in the community and the cruises and the shows and going around. Matter of fact, next weekend there's a show that we were reached out to, and Northside is going to go down there and provide judges for the show. We are really getting out there and providing something for our members to do every month, and that is really causing us to grow. One of the main reasons. Like I said, the cruise that we had this last weekend, I was approached at Buc-ee's, and they were so interested in how active we are, the things that we got going on. He was another new member, somebody else that joined.
Wow.
And Northside Mustang, you guys have a pretty good relationship with a couple of dealerships here in town as well, because I know you have a couple of sizable shows at their locations through the year. And that's important as well, because that's what strengthens the brand at the dealership. The Mustang brand at the dealership is getting a crew like yours in there to do a show.
Yes. And we Northside's also very involved with the track events. There's several track events that Neil Turman, he opens and heads that track committee, and there are 4 track events this year. Ozarks up in Topeka, Kansas this year, also in Indianapolis, and then of course Tulsa, Oklahoma, with the track event that's going up there with the Mid-America Ford Nationals.
What is the most active part of the year for you guys? Is it the summer?
No, I would say spring. Probably, I would say.
Right. Yeah.
We're in Texas. It gets a little warm, especially for us in those ovals.
Yeah. Well, we're quite familiar with that. There's no doubt about it. So, what is the next event that you said?
Our next event coming up is actually April 1st, which is a Blue Bonnet cruise. We're going to go up, start in Conroe, go up to the Bluebell Creamery, and then off to the Washington on the Brazos. We've rented a pavilion up there for an outdoor picnic and things like that, and just to cruise through the area up there and see the Blue Bonnets.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's good. What kind of Mustang do you have?
Well, actually, one of you guys talked about one of them on the last time Randy was doing it. I'm the owner, or my wife, I should say, is the owner. I have the 2006 that looks like a 67 that's been completely redone. And then I have a 67 fastback myself. Both cars have been built to look just like each other, except they're 39 years difference.
Wow.
So do they make a kit that you can make basically a late model into a 67?
This is actually not a kit. This is actually, we have the first one that was done. The group had never done they've done 69 to 71s. That was one of the first attempts at doing a 67. And we were the prototype for it. They built the molds and stuff from our car. We had some, ups and downs on the builds of trying to get it just right. This didn't look right, so cut it back out, start over again. It was a group up in Paducah, Kentucky called Duncan Brothers.
Wow. Very nice.
So I can go online and I could buy a kit now for that 2006 to tune it back?
Well, they don't. They actually don't do a kit.
They do the work.
They do all the work. It's you provide them with a donor car, and they build the car for you. So you have the luxury of a new car, but the old look.
And a blank check.
See, Don, you could start with the Corvette.
Yeah.
Make it look like a 67 Mustang.
Yeah, convert the Corvette into a Mustang. That'd be a stretch.
Yeah.
We'll do a segment on that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what kind of motor is this? Is it got a stock motor in it?
It still has the original 4.6.
Well, I see. Have you done any work to that?
There's a little bit. It runs about 430 horse.
That's
Nothing shady about that at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Yeah, it's got more horsepower in my 67. So sitting out in the garage now is a 347 stroker that will go down in there. I can't have my wife's car fast enough.
And they'll prove that at a track event.
so you see why I asked these questions about what kind of motor you got in it.
It's 39-year difference. That's like some marriages.
Only if you got enough money.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I wouldn't know.
None
So
of
how-
us have got that much money.
How can people join the North Side Mustang Club? I have posted your website on our social media. Can they get on there to join the club?
They can get on there and join the club. We also can reach out to us on Facebook. We have a Northside group page. Can reach out to there, and one of the questions on there when entering will be, do you want to join as a member? And we can reach back to them and get that started in that direction also.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, you guys did an event for Ford versus Ferrari, and I showed up in my Oldsmobile and joined. Haven't renewed since, but
They're still laughing at you.
Well, that's because it sat in the garage
sat
for
in the
3 or
garage
4
for-
years.
No, just about a year and a half.
Yeah. Oh, really? I hardly think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But it's out and about now.
I joined Northside back in 2016 at the Mustang versus Camaro over at the Budweiser plant.
Oh.
Boy, that's a good mix.
Yeah, Budweiser, Camaros, and Mustangs. Why not? Vernon, it's great to talk to you. Thanks so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you at some event coming up soon.
All right. Thanks, guys, for having me.
Thank you.
You bet.
Vernon. Wilhelm Vernon is his real name. And Northside
They
Mustang
are very
Club.
busy people.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, a very busy club.
They're
Yeah, I
extremely
think that's one of the
active.
reasons that they're growing some. Where I can't tell you the number of clubs that
Don't exist
exist anymore.
I can tell you lots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to have
Well,
enthusiasm.
they have good leadership, Tracy and Randy excluded, but they have good leadership and a very active crew of people. And listening to Vernon talk, there are different committees responsible for doing different events and stuff. So.
That's the way to do it. All right, time now for Konrad's Car Clinic, always popular. And what are we talking about today?
Well, the top 4 reasons for brake vibration. A vibrating brake pedal is a relatively common concern. It's never a good idea to ignore that issue. Your brakes are the most important safety feature on your vehicle, and maintenance is needed to keep them operating properly. Taking your vehicle to a shop anytime even you get your oil changed, they should be doing a multi-point inspection, and with that multi-point inspection, you're getting your tires rotated. So while they're rotating the tires, somebody should be looking at your brakes.
Mm-hmm.
In a lot of shops, you'll see they'll have those little colored tabs to measure the thickness of your brake pads that are left.
Kind of like a feeler gauge.
Kind of like
Yeah.
a feeler gauge, and it's red, yellow, and green as far as when do you need to deal with it, because the more worn the pad is, the higher probability is it's going to be a much more expensive repair, because if you let the metal to metal touch and then all of a sudden you put
Yeah,
rotors
but
and
most
stuff on.
everybody just changes the rotors straight out these days when you do a brake job.
Well,
Right. And they're inexpensive enough now.
Yeah.
Well,
Get the
and a
brake
lot
bundle.
of them you can't turn because they're too thin to begin
Right.
with.
The manufacturers tell you have to replace the rotors, but you can get Corvettes, you can get rotors for $30 for a Corvette,
Really?
and just slap them on.
Yeah, the brake bundle.
So, brake pads on average, brake pads are going to last somewhere to 40 to 50,000 miles. Excessive force from slamming on the brakes or high-speed braking can quickly diminish the length of time the brake pads last. If your pads are squeaking, especially on that slow stop, you might want to take it in and get it looked at. There are wear indicators on the pads that are designed to squeak when the pads get low. That's kind of the warning that says, hey, get your brake pads checked.
Yep.
So you want to do that. And the funny thing is my Yukon, I've got almost 15,000 miles on it, and the brake pads are still pretty good. So depending on the manufacturer as far as how long your brake pads are going to last.
And your driving style.
Right. My driving style is
Well,
usually...
you use the accelerator only.
And then, another thing that can cause brake vibration is the brake rotor or the brake disc. They wear out as well. And like we said, they have to have a certain amount of thickness in them to be able to cut them to smooth the surface out. And a lot of the newer cars, they're not very thick. So, the repair facility can't cut them to smooth the surface out, so they end up having to replace them. Mm-hmm. Another thing about that is when you look at how the rotor is put onto the hub, if the shop is over tightening your lug nuts, they can distort the rotor, and that's going to give you
it's
a
going
vibration.
To warp it as well. Yeah.
Warp it and give you a vibration in the brake pedal. Worn suspension components can cause a vibration in your brakes. If something is out of line and it's always trying to correct itself while you're stopping the car, that can cause a vibration in your brakes as well. And those are things, again, if your shop's doing a quality multi-point inspection when you bring it in, they should be able to identify that for you. And don't hesitate to spend the money to fix it. Many times a lot of people are going to wait a little bit and I'll get it done next time I'm in. That's not a good thing to do on brakes. Is that something?
The single most important thing I learned from the very get-go are the brakes.
Oh, very much
more important than the motor or anything else. Because if you can't stop, chances are you're going to die.
Or have a wreck. So, and then, finally, tires and alignment can cause brake vibration. When I was driving the rally back from
belt separation.
It was getting a belt separation on the tire, and that caused a pretty big brake vibration in the car until all of a sudden it went psh, and all the air came out of the tire. Did
you get you some new tires?
I got 4 brand new tires. Well,
actually, BF Goodrich.
I got
white
5.
letters?
I got 5 brand new tires.
There you go. That's the.
I got 4 BF Goodrich and then a Cooper, because I had ordered the 4 BF Goodrich, and when I got there, I was like, well, I need to replace the spare because the spare is just as old as the rest of the tires, and come to find out the spare was 12 years old, which is way older than they're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And so I ended up putting a Cooper on for the
There's nothing
spare.
wrong with that.
And raised white letters, got to make the car look cool.
Absolutely. Yep.
So, yep.
The BF Goodrich?
BFG Radial TAs.
Which is a Michelin brand.
There you go.
Parent company, Michelin.
And I talked to Jeff before I did it, because I was looking at the Coopers or looking at the BFGs and the price difference, because there was a significant price difference between the two of them. And then, discount.
BF Goodrich more expensive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cooper just recently, probably in the last 8 years or so, came into the Texas market. They were not allowed for restrictive reasons on manufacturers to be allowed in the Texas market. They would be in Louisiana and Oklahoma. You could get Cooper, but you have to go outside of the state to get them.
Okay. And then I got them at Discount Tire, and Discount Tire does a tire price match thing. So I went online and found those BF Goodrich. And again, the odd thing is it's a 245 60R 14-inch tire that fits on the Oldsmobile. So it's kind of an odd size in today's world of 16s, 17s, 18s, 19s, and 20s. And found a very good price on it, and they matched the price on it.
We just got
to
work on the loose nut behind the wheel.
Amen to that.
Thank you. So, those are 4 questions about brake vibration, and don't delay in getting your vehicle corrected.
Ford Motor Company is in some deep doo-doo.
Again.
And
Still.
The recalls. They spend, I think that Ford single-handedly has the most recalls over years of any manufacturer. I'm sorry to say, but that's the truth. Ford Motor Company
GM will say, hold my beer at
recalling
some
more than 1.3 million older model sedans globally for front brake hoses that might rupture and leak brake fluid. Kathy's car is in this. Recall covers certain 13 to 18 Ford Fusion and Lincoln MKZ vehicles, affecting nearly 1.3 million vehicles in the U.S. If the front brake hose ruptures and leaks brake fluid, drivers may experience an increase in pedal travel, together with a
all the way to
reduction
the
in the
floor.
rate of deceleration, increasing the risk of a crash. To fix the issue, dealers will replace the front brake hoses. Ford said it expected to notify dealers starting Monday. Owners will be notified starting April 17th.
We'll be on the lookout.
I was going to say, that's not going to be a cheap fix because not only is it the hose, they're going to have to replace all the brake fluid in the vehicle so you
Ford-
get a free flush in the meantime.
Ford also is recalling 280,000 F-150 pickups globally from the 21 model year, according to a separate recall report made Thursday. The windshield wiper arms on those vehicles may break. The dealers will inspect and replace wiper arms as necessary. Other recalls, Ford Transit for 2023. HVAC system defogger is inoperative. Ford Expedition, F-150 and Navigator, front axle pinion not heat treated. Going to have to replace that. Nissan Ariya steering wheel may detach from the steering column.
Oops.
That's not
Oopsie
good.
Daisy.
Yeah. Parking sensor may short circuit and cause a fire in the Hyundai Veloster for 2012 through 2013.
Thermal
Mazda
event.
CX-50 trailer hitch harness may detach. Toyota Tundra and Toyota Tundra Hybrid 22 and 23 tonneau cover may detach. Kia America said it'll recall more than 188,000 K5 midsize sedans in the U.S.
think that's
over
all of them.
side curtain airbags that were installed incorrectly, causing them to not deploy properly during a crash. Lots of recalls, I'm telling you.
So check the curtains.
Check your curtains. And that's auto news for now, anyway.
There you go.
I got a bunch more that we'll get to in the next couple of hours during the show. All right. Well, that's it for this hour of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with hour number 2 after these brief messages.
Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier car cruise-in returns Saturday, April 15th to the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. Bring your hot rod, classic, resto mod, or any other vehicle you'd like to show and compete for one of 3 highly coveted chili pepper trophies. This April 15th kickoff event is one you'll want to put on your calendar because 100% of the money you donate for the free tacos will be given to God's Garage. You heard right. Free tacos. Whatever you decide to give, all of it will be given to God's Garage and matched by Loopy Tortilla. God's Garage gifts vehicles to single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military in the greater Houston area. In fact, the Garage will gift a vehicle to a mom in need at this special event. Be sure to attend the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In, Saturday, April 15th, 8 to 11 a.m. at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Free breakfast tacos for any donation to God's Garage. It'll make your heart and your belly feel good. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available on the most popular podcast channels out there in 30-minute episodes. We realize our 3-hour live show can be difficult to catch in its entirety, so now you can listen every day to a convenient, fresh 30-minute episode. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, along with a dozen more. In Wheel Time has the most informative automotive guest interviews and new car reviews, along with popular features including Konrad's Car Clinic and This Week in Auto History, along with automotive news headlines. Our live broadcast airs every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central on InWheelTime.com, the iHeart app, and on YouTube. Be sure to say hello when we're broadcasting from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In, Autorama, and the Houston Auto Show, among others. Now, it's easier than ever to hear about all things automotive all week long. You're invited to join fellow car enthusiasts in becoming part of the ever-growing In Wheel Time Car Talk family. Don't forget those 30-minute podcast episodes on your favorite podcast channel. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.